What's up, everybody? How are you? Listen, it's been a minute since we've been back with the Wednesday crew. I apologize. It is all my fault. I've been dealing with some family stuff, and it's okay though, because I mean that's what it is. And then some other things that we have going on. And my guys have been doing what they're supposed to do, which is a great thing. And they've been keeping busy on their own. I mean, everybody has their own agendas and things that we try to do to better our world and our community. And I'm so glad to be a part of that with these guys. Um, with that being said and saying all that, let me just ask Kev, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's been a long time. So, hello,
Yeah, we had the
everybody.
summer. Yeah, we had the summer break, and now, like I said, we're back, and like I said, we usually come back in September. I mean, or do we take August and September off, or one of the? But we come back, but but like everything has just been culminated with so much different stuff, brother, man. So
Yeah.
what have you been up to? Tell me, you still working with your organization? What's
So
happening
with
with
my
you?
organization, that's what takes up a lot of my time. It's gotten, very busy. So, which good and bad, you know, right? So it has become. It's definitely not a retirement job.
Right.
Work more now than I did before.
So is there anything that you could be privy to talk to us about, or is it you got to keep it
Uh,
personal?
Look, I mean, you guys know what I do. I run the National Child Protection Task Force. We're a nonprofit. We're a 911 for investigators helping with missing exploited traffic kid cases. So we
Mm-hmm.
bring together teams of tech experts to help any investigator anywhere with a case to quickly resolve it. That's the goal. We want to
That's what's up,
help
man.
quickly resolve cases. Technology moves too fast. No law enforcement agency can keep up with it unless you're sharing and talking to lots and lots of other people, and that's what we do. And then the
Yeah.
last, you know,
What are the numbers like with missing children and stuff like that right now?
so just the numbers are all over the place. That's a harder one to give you, but what I'll give you is what's different today than when you and I were kids.
Right.
When you and I were kids, and what we fear as parents at our age, you know, is or as adults at our age, is our kids being or any kid being abducted. You know, the white van, help me find my puppy, kind of abduction. And the honest
Mm-hmm.
answer is it almost doesn't exist at all. Those are incredibly, incredibly rare. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Today, our kids are safer on the streets at a young age
Mm.
than they were when we were kids.
Understood.
What what
Understood.
makes them not safe is this device,
Understood.
and it's that predator that's talking to your child in their bedroom, your
Mm-hmm.
basement, your kitchen,
Yes.
and we don't realize it. The predator's in our home, and we don't know it.
Okay.
That's the difference today. So
Right.
don't fear the street. Take your kids out. Let your kids be out. Let them play. This thing, this is where the trouble comes from.
So
Predators
so
don't.
you know when I watch stuff like Dateline and things like Magnitude and like they all say, oh, this person is the predator, and there's a lot of internet stuff
Yeah,
coming on. Maybe one Wednesday we'll have a just interview you on exactly what's going on in regards to that kind of lifestyle. You know what I'm trying to say, and
yeah,
what you're dealing with.
yeah. It is definitely that's what the difference is. It is about the phone more than anything else. Why would a predator, as a predator, why would you take the chance of driving the street, trying to find a kid by themselves that you can physically take when you could sit at home, engage lots of kids online,
Mhm.
befriend one, and convince them to come meet you?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Stefania has a question for you.
Yep.
He says, Uncle Kev, being that you work with kidnapped missing kids, what are your thoughts on the California's new thing with the Ebony Alert for African American children? She says, I don't understand why they've had to be a separation between the Amber Alert and the Ebony Alert. It seems like it's a play for them to ignore African American missing kids.
Well, I get the theory behind it. Let's be very, very honest about this category. Um, brown kids don't get the attention, period. If you're not a pretty blonde girl and you go missing, you are not getting the attention. If you get media attention, a police department will then assign their top detectives to find you, to find your child. If you get no media attention, you're put into the rotation like every other kid, and it's not a priority. So I get it. I get the theory behind it. I don't like um, an ebony alert, but I understand what the point of that is. That we're not paying attention to kids, brown kids, and that's
So,
not police departments. That's media, right? Like that's them, not us.
so let me ask you a question, Kev, and that's a good point, and it's going to segue into what I want to ask you too. But let me ask you this. All right, we're talking about an ebony alert, which is crazy to me that it would be that. So do you think it's a good alert, or it's just letting us know that they really not looking after African American kids and stuff like that? And shout out to everybody that's chiming in. This Real Talk Chronicles are back with the Wednesday crew, affectionately known as Stefania calls us the cop crew. And we got Richard Williams in the building. But I want to ask you a question. The reason why I asked that question is because when we talk about mass shootings,
Mm-hmm.
you've enlightened me on the point that with mass shootings that they add all, and I'm using this term loosely and being facetious with it, like dudes on oppositions shooting at each other on the corner, or they shoot, like they just had a shooting in Philadelphia, or they have a shooting, and we're going to talk about that shooting real quick that happened in, what is it, Livingston or Lewiston or whatever. And you sent me the information on it. I was reading it today.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you clump gang rivalry as a mass shooting to somebody that has
To the guy in Maine, to the guy just in Maine?
Yes.
It's the definition, Bill. Right.
So more than one, a few people, right?
It's it. Some places use 2 or more people shot. Some use 3 or more people shot. But to me, it's about intent, right? If your intent is to kill people for no reason or a political reason, that's a mass shooting. That school shooting, the Maine shooting, church shootings, synagogue shootings. We have a whole bunch of those. Those are the ones that scare the hell out of us. But we have I've talked, that's what you just said. We have added in all kinds of group shootings where it's somebody pulls a gun out in the club because they got into a fight and they go to shoot somebody and they shoot 4 people. Well, that's a mass shooting, but
that's a mass shooting now. Yeah.
But it's not that.
It's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really is who's saying it, what's behind the numbers.
Yeah. And I'm gonna bring Rich in on that. And that's
Hello, Rich.
I apologize. Yeah.
It's been a long time, sir.
What's going on? Yo, Rich. First and foremost, how are you doing, brother? How you been? It's been a minute. We all been
man, you know my story. It's the 2 C's, choice and a chance, and I got mine.
Absolutely, brother. What we were talking about earlier was Stefania brought up, Kevin and I were just going down memory lane on what he's been doing, what's been keeping him busy. And Stefania asked this question, that she says, and shout out to Black Ace. I see you, Bam. It's all love. And Danette, how are you? It's good to see you. She says, this is the question that she asked Kevin. I don't know if you heard it because I know you were transitioning from the car to the house.
Yeah.
She says, Uncle Kev, being that you work with kidnapped missing kids, what are your thoughts on California's new thing with the Ebony Alert for African American children? She says, I don't understand why there had to be a separation between the Amber Alert and the Ebony Alert. It seems like it's a play for them to ignore African Americans missing kids. Now, Kevin just alluded that it's a separation. You might want to just brief him real quick because I don't want to misquote what you said. Hey, Michelle, I see you. Roscoe, I see you in the building. I'll read your comments in a minute. But Kevin just alluded to why he feels that way. 40, I see you. Kev, give Rich your synopsis real quick on why you said that, and then let Rich. I want to ask his thoughts on that.
It's forever, right? We've all known this. Nobody cares about missing kids of color.
Right.
If you're not a pretty blonde white girl, you are not
Yeah.
getting the attention. You are not going to get the extra coverage.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it's unarguable. Like, if we all sat here and tried, I couldn't name one famous or infamous missing girl of color.
Right.
I can name a whole lot of pretty white girls from Holloway down in Aruba to Patino from over last summer, and Gabby Patino, and a bunch of in between, to even the, like, it'll hit me in a minute, the young girl from
Staten Island that was
Staten Island, but just had the young girl years ago from Colorado that it was still never solved.
Yes.
Like, those are all big names. There is not a single one of color. I get the theory behind it, but having an ebony alert.
So what's the theory behind it? Because
what
you're saying is factual.
It's absolutely factual. So maybe it's to force some people to actually think of it. What I would like to see, and my organization, we've been pushing this for a long time. Police departments, and you can pick everybody in the audience, check your local department and look at the stats on missing kids. Doesn't exist. You can't find it. You can find the stats on burglaries, car thefts, but not missing kids. I want police departments to publicly keep their missing kid stats, to include age and sex, online, so that we can see them. And then we can, us, media, people, just normal people, we can call them out and push things and get things highlighted. It's a simple way of getting attention to where it belongs. Offline, Bill, I'll tell you something else that we're going to do to hopefully push this.
Okay, absolutely. So not Kev. So Rich, what's your thoughts on what we were just talking about? Because I wanted to segue into, we talked about mass shootings, how they clumped in dudes, oppositions arguing over a gang turf and stuff like that into what's just happened recently. And I think that's all about fudging the numbers. And, it's a shame that now we're fudging numbers to justify certain situations. Because then now the narrative going to be, and I don't want to really shift it that way, but I'm going to shift it. They're going to say, oh, in 2 years, well, there are more mass shootings in African-American communities than there is in so-and-so, so-and-so. But yeah, okay, Pookie shooting at his oppositions is not the same to me as some individual, no matter what his ethnicity is, even though we can justify his ethnicity, shooting at a school or a church and things of that magnitude, it doesn't make sense to me. So I just wanted to get your insight and your thoughts on that, Rich.
Okay, well, because we're talking about two different things, right? So
yes,
let me address the term that they use for ebony. You said ebony alert, right?
Yes, sir.
What also I would want to know too is who coined ebony? I mean, who gave it that name, right? And the best person to ask is the person that gave it that name. But we got Black History Month, as if history isn't one thing. Like, we got our own history and then everybody else got theirs. Kevin is right. Nobody pays attention. And when you say nobody, we're talking about the media. There's no focus in the media on missing minorities, whether they're Asian or Black or Hispanic. And therefore, we don't get that media coverage. And from what I understand, the police department reacts to media coverage when they start pursuing these cases about missing or homicides that occur, of a particular notoriety. They just recently, after 20 some odd years, talking about solving the case of who shot Tupac and Biggie and shit,
Yeah.
And they said, if you want to kill somebody, kill a rapper. They won't investigate it.
Yeah.
But this is the society in which we live, where the people that are controlling the narrative controls both ends, you know, and you can't solve it because they created it and they want to participate in the research to solve it. So it's never going to happen. I mean, there's reasons behind this, and I always said it. There's money in chaos. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
somebody is getting money in some shape, form, or fashion for missing children of color or of any gender, but somebody's getting a paycheck out of that.
yeah, yeah.
And the other thing, um, bring me back to that other question, Bill.
What like they clumped it all together. Mass shootings.
Mass shooting. Okay, for me, a mass shooting is um, kind of like what Kevin said. Um, Somebody that's uh, deranged or for whatever reason targets a particular group of people for whatever their cause is in their head, whether it's racially motivated, religiously motivated, or just simply they bananas. You know, they got a dog talking to them saying, shoot these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
To me, those are mass shootings. Shootings that occur in um, low income neighborhoods that are stricken with poverty, substance abuse, drugs, which spawns the underworld of crime that have the mentality to protect their territory through crime. I don't consider those mass shootings, right?
Yeah,
Even though this, these shootings make no sense, no matter how you formulate them in your head.
absolutely, absolutely.
The reasoning behind these shootings are different, and even in the communities of color, you do have somebody that's crazy, you know, suffering from mental illness, decides that whatever that voice in their head is telling them to do, that's what they do. You know, recently on the news, guy comes upstairs in Brooklyn with a gun and shoots his neighbor upstairs.
Now, yeah, I was going to talk about that because I mean, just for
He's former law enforcement.
hey, hold on for a second. I just want to say this with all due respect. Somebody's watching right now that was a friend of the individual that got killed. So you know, all due respect. Now, when I'm not saying, I'm saying let's talk about it. But what I'm trying to say is, let's give our prayers out to the family. Also, too, shout out to the birthday people. I mean, it's tragedy and happiness all ripped in the world. This world is so different. But yeah, we could talk about that. You could switch the pendulum with that because that's crazy. Former law enforcement, and what I guess Kev, you and I could talk about this, and Rich, you and I could talk about this from another level, from a level two, like. Yo, if you're gonna do all this killing, don't be a coward. Let somebody kill you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how cold and heartless that sounds, but you know what? The dude, you shoot 18 people, and then you go somewhere and you kill yourself. Like this guy, I guess he wanted death by a cop, Kev, like suicide by a cop, because he went into a gunfight with the cops and they pulled him over. But the thing is,
No,
you
he
go
pulled
see,
a knife out.
excuse me,
A knife.
he put he pulled out a knife in the car with
When they pulled his ass over, he gets out the car. This is reported by the news.
right.
He gets out the car with a knife. And they had some words about him putting the knife down, and he didn't put the knife down. Instead, he ran towards the cops with the knife, trying to stab at them. And
Yeah,
then
that's suicide by a
the
cop.
cop
Yeah, that's
time
suicide by a
that
cop.
time either the arm or the leg.
Yeah, that's suicide by a cop. You know, it's so funny. I mean, I think, and Kev, we could talk about it another time, but we've always said, I mean, it's been the normal census for anybody in law enforcement. Like, yo, when you do all this harm, like go out in a blaze, just the same way you blazed, people and destroy lives. Like, and I guess maybe I'm talking to my personal, like maybe give some people satisfaction because the bottom line is you, you know, like this man, of course, he has a family that did this, but This senseless killing was over noise, a noise. You went up to somebody's house and complained about noise. Is that what we're doing now? We're killing over noise. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, yo, you couldn't say, yo, can you turn down the music? Can you do this or can you do that? We're killing over noise. How crazy is that? You know, how insensitive have we become, and how pacifying are we on so many different levels of idiocy and stupidity, and we want to always talk about mental illness and stuff like that. But you know, when the three of us were growing up, when somebody had mental illness or mental illness was mentioned, it was totally different than what we see now. I was just on the phone talking to somebody, and he wants to say that he has PTSD, and I'm not saying he doesn't have it, right? But every time he spazzes out in meetings and arguing with people, and they call me in regards to this, he wants to tell me, oh, well, you know, I got this and I got PTSD and whatever. And, you know, if I get upset, and I had to kind of say, yo, like, dog, nobody cares about that because you keep using it. That's just like saying, like, yo, and I'm giving an example and not being disrespectful. That's like, yo, if I see a white person and I don't like what he says to me and I slap him, and I slap every white person that gets me mad or says something I don't like, and then I say, well, yo, I'm black and that's why I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm being facetious. You know what I'm saying, Kev? Or a white person says, yo, I got robbed.
Sounds like Richard on a Thursday night.
Yeah. Yo, Kev, or like a white person says, oh, I lost my job. I don't like black people because I'm tired of all this affirmative action shit and this and that and that. And so every black person, I hate you for this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, when does it stop? So I was kind of like saying to him, stop using the excuse that you have PTSD when you curse people out and you yell at them. Because what you're telling me is that you're already saying, here's my excuse for cursing you out. And him and I got into it. And what's up, said? And him and I got into it. And he was like, oh, B, like, you hurt my feelings. Like, yo, like you talk. I told him, I said, I didn't give a F anymore. And he was like, damn, like, what, you want to box me? I said, you don't want that either. But I'm just like, yo, stop using that excuse every time you curse somebody out. And then I got to come and be the buffer for this argument. And you keep saying, yo, well, I get upset. Well, what you going to do? Just get upset and let all the chips roll up. Because I'm tired of you getting upset and ain't doing shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Get upset and prove it. Because and Rich, he's a big dude like you. And he just woofing women and woofing white people and woofing and black people, and he just woofing. But you just want to say, I got PTSD. I don't want to hear that no more. So that's why I get it when I see people use it, because when he wants something, he's real soft spoken. Yo, he could talk with a church mouse. You know what I'm saying? But when he's not getting what he wants. Oh, I got PTSD. Y'all making me mad now. Oh, man, shut up. Shut the F up, man. So go ahead, Rich. That was my rant, because I've been dealing with this dude too long, and I just been dealing with him like consecutively for the past few days in meetings and stuff like that, and it kind of pushed my button. And I don't care if he watching or listening now. I ain't gonna do shit, but I'm just saying.
You know how you back in the days where there was that guy that was always woofing because they knew there was somebody there to break the fight up. Somebody that was going to step in the middle and say, nah, chill, don't do it. And he'd be barking, knowing the fight wasn't going to happen because too many people there to stop it, right?
Exactly. Holding them back.
So allegedly PSP, whatever that shit is, right? They the same way, you know. They know there's somebody there that's going to intercede, that's going to call 911, get the police here, or somebody's going to step in the middle of it. But that motherfucker that knows that nobody's there that's going to stop this shit, and that the person that they're about to bark in is going to push their wig back, they don't have it now.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, when he called me Sunday, he was like, yo, B, you hurt my feelings. He didn't talk that PTSD. He was like, yo, Rich, you would have liked it. He was like, yo, you hurt my feelings. Yo, I don't know why you talk to me like that. I was like, yo, I said, yo, listen, man, Kev, I was like, yo, listen, man, I'm sorry, but you got me hot with that shit.
Hey,
I
listen,
don't hear that shit no more, B.
their little emotional thing or whatever they believe
Yeah.
about people or whatever. I got to tell you a quick joke. You might have heard it before. 4 people go up to a mountain on a spiritual awakening trip, right?
Uh-huh.
One Spanish guy, one Chinese guy, one
yeah.
one white guy. They go up
Uh-huh.
to Kilimanjaro. Spanish dude jumps off the mountain and says, "This is for my people."
Yeah. Kev, have you heard this before?
Off the mountain says, "This is for my people." Black man goes to the ledge, grabs a white guy, and throws him off and said, "This is for my people."
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. He was like, "Yo, I ain't jumping and shit." So
that's PSD right there.
Yeah. So but you know what I'm saying, Rich, and I say all that to say, and I'm glad we everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We're gonna throw some humor into our shit. We could talk about the most serious topic, but trust me, when we're all together, all these fellas get together, we're gonna find some laughter in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if I would have threw you up that mountain, I would have went to the bottom and catch you before you hit the ground.
You would have gave me a parachute.
You just gotta have faith in me.
that you can get down there. You can get down to the end of that mountain, right? Exactly.
Did you run faster than I float?
Just hope the police don't stop me on my way.
Yo, wouldn't that be some shit? Yo, I got pulled over. I was trying to save your life, but I got pulled over. That's why you hit the ground. I got pulled over and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let me just read some comments real quick from Roscoe and other people real quick. Everybody, we got Sid in the building. My brother, he's gonna come back. Long time part of the family. Roscoe, I'm reading backwards. Roscoe said the amount of matter that contains in the body is called mass. It is a constant quantity. This means it does not change with respect to position or place. It's measured using physical balance. Roscoe also says our own community has been brainwashed to think it's different, but it is not. Let me read some more comments. I'm apologizing for going back. We were chopping it up. My man James Harvin, he said messaging the data to direct funding to their agenda. Absolutely. Roscoe also says Black people have been going through mass shootings forever. The circumstances are not prominent. The intent when the shooting starts is all the same. The difference is that the event or the goal of the gunman. Yeah, I mean, hey, Christina, 40 says, what about the shooters who wear African-American masks and go in Black neighborhoods and shoot at Black folks? That's a real deep one. Kev put some information in there. I hope you're on YouTube. Look it up. He put a couple. You put 2 things, or it's the same thing, Kev?
Repeat. Yeah.
Okay, that's all good. Roscoe said mass shootings have been happening and is just getting more light now because of social media. Nothing new. That's something to think about too, fellas. What's your thoughts on that? Roscoe also said predators are available in all venues of this life. Before I left the job, we were doing drug and gun cases online. Vice used this method also. Okay, we read that. So yeah, I'm caught up to everybody that's chiming in from all aspects of social media. I see you, Steve Meekins. What's going on? So, what do you think about that last thing Roscoe said? I just left it. That mass shootings have been happening, Kev and Rich, for so long. I mean, I do want to talk about Israel. Kev, I know you're about to check out soon, but I do want to talk about Israel. But what do you think about that mass shootings? Because Kev, people have always said this to me. I don't know if you've heard this before. Oh, cops. I understand about cops always killing people of color. That I'm just using that paraphrase. That I'm not opening it up for debate, but it wasn't publicized as it has been since media has culminated and taken over everything. I don't know of that like that. You know what I'm trying to say? I know about the Avenue Luimas, the Volpes and stuff like that, but I don't remember hearing of people of color getting shot like that when we were working. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just trying to say I don't recall it like we see it now. And I understand media is much stronger and more powerful than that. Your thoughts? Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a whole longer conversation, Bill, but I've showed you 100 times that statistically, you go every decade you go back, we shot more people.
Right.
Every decade you go back, and there's less people, a smaller population if you go back too. So
yeah,
the numbers have gotten better.
Yeah.
Are we anywhere near where we have to be? Hell no.
Right.
Actually gotten better, but media's got stronger.
The numbers got bigger as we go back. Numbers of people that were shot by police officers overall, or people that were shot mistakenly.
Overall, I'm not gonna, that mistakenly is a tough one.
Yeah, because I'm not thinking of people that in the midst of a crime and then there's a incident, step in and have to use their.
How about this one, Rich? Unarmed.
And a crime. I'm talking. Yeah, okay. Unarmed.
How about we use unarmed? Unarmed. Statistically, we shot more 20 years ago. Police shot more unarmed 20 years ago.
Okay, so statistically, those people that were unarmed, what's the racial background of those people that were shot that were unarmed?
Most years it's more white than black, but it doesn't, percentages of the people in the country. And I'll even throw one further, Rich, if you want to go back.
So you're saying statistically, more white people have been shot
every year.
Black people.
Or more unarmed white men get shot every year than black men by cops.
Yeah.
Where's the stats?
No, where did that happen at? The media doesn't cover it, right?
No, it doesn't sell.
White people getting shot doesn't sell.
No. Not by cops. Nobody cares.
News program then. Because I know a whole bunch of people that like to hear that story. All we ever hear about is us shot. I did not know.
You know what we could do, Rich? Rich, we can come up with our own media.
More than black people, because I mean, we watch this show. We see white people jump in police cars after whipping the cop's ass.
Well, you talking about Jerry? You talking about Jerry? You brought up Jerry? Yo, Kev, that will be all. Always Jerry will always be everything to us, yo.
Hey man, listen, I listen. That's some crazy shit. I never heard that one. How about you, Bill? You heard that shit before?
Well, I think Kevin can allude to the fact that we're dealing with the numbers of how many people, African Americans or brown people in the world compared to white people, right? I mean, is that how we had to
like? I thought we were talking like United States.
Yeah, United States only, U.S.
So in U.S. only, more unarmed white people have been shot and killed
by police every year.
By police
every year. But Rich, the three of us can start our own 5 o'clock news, and what we'll have is white people shot and children of color who've gone missing. That'll be the only two news.
Whoa! That'll be some shit, bro. That'll be some shit.
We'll be the opposite of the real news.
Yo, let me tell you something. We'll be hot as chicken grease. You know what I'm saying? Well, we should do that. We should do that.
Well, a lot of the recourse that black people have that are being shot mistakenly, unarmed by police officers, you hear about them because they suing. And I know, by and large, when it comes to suing, white folk are king. All right? So I don't understand how we don't hear about lawsuits from all of these white folks that got shot for being unarmed by the police department.
Yeah.
I
put it in the Facebook chat. You can.
They just get their money quietly and just chill. Just give me my check. I don't want nobody to know I got it. Is that how that works?
However it works.
I mean, I think we all agree. I think anything you've mentioned the media earlier, Kevin mentioned it, and I sure know of it, that certain things don't come to light unless there's a camera on it. I mean, we've learned this for years, and I don't want to go too far into that. Not that we can't. That people of color, and I'm just using this as an example. Then you can all comment on it, and then I just want to talk about Israel real quick. People of color, but I mean before we get out of here, people of color have said, "Listen, this has happened, and it wasn't videotaped. This has happened, and people didn't believe it. This has happened with witnesses, but you really didn't see it. We understand this has happened." And I said, "Put your hands in the air, don't move." And then I shot you. And then, we get the trickery with well, I heard the officer say, "Put your hands in the air." So he must have meant that. Doesn't mean it happened like that. And listen, don't get me wrong. I know I'm all black first and I'm blue second, but blue is my fraternity. It's not who I am. Some people just gravitate. Like I look at, and I'll say this with all due respect. Sometimes I look at a person's Facebook page and I see if he got 500 friends and 499 of them, or 480 of them are just police, then that's who you are. You know what I'm trying to say? My Facebook friend list or in Instagram is so diverse from people of all ethnic backgrounds and all different places in this world. So that just shows that I've spread this whole game out. But the one thing is that we understand that the media has manipulated certain things, because I'm just like I send you guys sometimes, or if I don't, I'm privy to people giving me a lot of intel, and I've been seeing like these little, what is it, like something mobs, like when they run into places and crash in stores and stuff like that. And a person is sending me stuff where white people were doing this thing, and they're like, "Oh, this is what the media is not showing." And lo and behold, you got white people just smashing and bashing and crashing and robbing and stuff like that. So this thing never makes the news. It's just like you said, Rich, like Kevin, you said. I mean, it's nothing that we've never said before. But the sad thing about it is, like Kev, and you alluded to this, listen, the black child don't make the news. You know what I'm saying? Like there was something on Instagram that, recently. The black girl was missing for a few days. She finally came home. Now I don't know where the hell she was, but when the thing finally came out, it was like she was found. But like you said, Kev, God forbid anybody gets hurt. Any woman gets hurt. But if a white woman gets hurt, she's making the news. Her pictures is
she's got to be pretty too. It's not just
not a little fat ugly white woman. No, she got to be a pretty white girl.
Like, she's got to be pretty.
Yeah, real talk. Like she got to be a pretty white woman. Yeah, she can't be like no.
It look like Rich with a wig.
She can't be no misery.
Look like me with a wig.
A misery looking like Roseanne. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, but listen. But the truth is, by and large, when it comes to stuff like that, black people of color are more reluctant to go to law enforcement with wrongful shootings and shit like that. They'll seek out some help because they don't have faith in the justice system, right? But I can't say that white people's experience are the same when it comes to their interaction with law enforcement, that they don't trust going there, or they don't trust going to the media. So when you say that, it's treated differently, I'm having a problem trying to understand that, because you do something wrong in the neighborhood, white people are the first ones to bark on you. They'll protest. When it comes to a cause for Caucasian people, they are unified and addressing it. So if white people are being killed so much at a higher rate than other minorities, I don't get why that isn't newsworthy, right?
Well, maybe let me just, Kevin, I'll let you say the answer, and then
I'll give you something quick, and I have to run.
Yeah,
but it's white people do not feel oppressed by the police, so they're less likely to complain about the police.
That's a good point.
That's
say that again.
White people don't feel oppressed by the police, so they're less likely to complain about the police. So their interactions aren't the same. So they give the benefit of the doubt when a shooting happens, that it was justified and the guy probably deserved it.
He's right. Yeah.
Our interactions are different.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is white people believe that regardless what your color is that if the police shoot you, that it's justified, whether you're white, black, blue, purple.
Absolutely. Well, Rich, let me just say this, and Kevin, I'm gonna let you comment after I say this. Rich, it's always been stated years ago that we're servants of the government. You know what I'm saying? Of the court. Like, so we took an oath, and that's why I held people to a higher standard at one point when I was like, you took an oath. Because go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
I gotta
go. All right, Kev.
Kev, before you go, Kev.
Son of a gun.
I
thought I was on mute.
Because I'm really having problems with this shit. Like what was the guy's name? Was it Joey that beat the cop up?
Jerry.
Ripped his ass. Jerry. That's right.
Yeah. You weren't here the night we showed the video of the
hold on.
the naked white guy that the cop shot.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What naked?
Wait.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right.
Footage of Bubba doing some shit like that and getting away with it.
Listen, you know,
you got any footage of that?
I'm sure
whipping the cop's ass, taking his police vehicle, and they stand by, said, don't do it, and he rides off and gets away. You got any of that footage, Kev?
Yes.
Please, next time you come on.
I got some family videos.
Bring that shit with you, man, because I want to see that one.
All right, gentlemen.
Yo, Kev, we'll talk to you later. I see you later, buddy.
Yeah, from Mount Kilimanjaro.
All right, yeah.
Hilarious. Later, Kev. I'll talk to you later, but so Rich, let me. I mean, we can finish on that topic, but let me ask you a question. What's your thoughts on what's going on? We got 15 minutes left. I want to get your thoughts on what's happening in Israel and stuff like that. And we talked about, you sent me something that we talked about where they're asking NFL players to kneel and stuff like that for Israel, but they don't want to ask. So go ahead. I got some comments. Let me say, Roscoe said, yes, Richard, that's why when they crack epidemic happened, when the crack epidemic happened, the users were criminalized. When the opiate and meth epidemics happened, it became a national crisis. 40 said that's called white privilege, plus the law enforcement trained them not to shoot white folks first. They will just discard the problem before, de-escalate the problem before shooting them. You know, Cedric said white people aren't scared of the police because they are given respect by the police. Absolutely.
No, but Kev, the stats said that white people getting killed by and large way more than we getting killed.
Yeah, he says that because the bottom line is they show. Listen, he says that whether I agree with it or disagree with it. I mean, if you got 100 white people and you got 3 black people and then 2 black people get shot and then 10 white people get shot, you know the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, Bill, even Al Capone kept phony books. All right. So don't give me that stat bullshit.
No, listen, I'm not agreeing with it, brother. Trust me. I'm not agreeing with it at all. I'm just saying
you got the stats for motherfuckers like us. And then
but now you see why I said how they clumped in mass shooting from gang violence and 5 people get shot to a white man going in a school shooting 18 people for whatever various reasons, and unbeknown to us, but known to them. They knew about it before, a month prior, that this was his ideology. So let's talk, you know what I'm saying? Let's wait a minute. You can do gang intel and all kind of other buffoonery and nonsense on this and that, but when it comes to this dude, Jimmy gonna go shooting people. Wait a minute. You don't do anything, and then Jimmy goes and does it, and now next thing you know, you're like, oh.
Well, you know, like Donald Trump was saying, you know, there are good folks on both sides. And the motherfuckers did the shooting. So let's go take them to and get them a. and then bring them to court.
Yeah, like Roscoe said, he said circumstances and intention does not matter. Mass is the amount of matter present in any object or body. Everything we see around us has mass. For example, a table, a chair, your bed, a football, a glass, and even air has mass. Yeah, Roscoe, I feel that. I see you. How I won the lottery. What's going on, Mark? I see you in the building. Yeah, I mean, Rich.
Well, first mass killers were the lynchings of black people. We were getting killed in the thousands, lynched, shot, burned, whole towns pillaged, raped. I mean, you name it. We suffered the whole gamut by the thousands, by the millions.
Right.
You know, and those are mass killings. You know, shootings, lynchings, burnings, whippings. And
yeah,
you know, a lot of these mass killings today are more racially motivated in the sense of your religion or your nationality, but they're done by the same people. You know, I mean, I don't feel safe. I live in New York City. You know, with all the gun violence here, I feel more safe here than going to some nice quiet town in the Midwest and chilling in a Walmart.
that's real talk.
I'm walking in Walmart with a full metal jacket and light the motherfucker up. And I don't have a clue. At least if I'm in the hood, I know Blood neighborhood, I know Crip neighborhood. I know.
Well, you know what's so funny? You know where to stay and what not to wear and where to go.
I know the sound.
When you think you in a suburban place, a town or something, and you looking at everybody around you, you think everybody's peaceful. But unbeknown to us, oh shit, he got issues and he pulling out the AKA, the AR-15, and he just lighting up the joint. Damn, I thought I was safe coming to this store.
Yep.
Lo and behold, nah.
Yeah.
I'm really the target here.
Yeah. And it's as crazy as it might sound or seem, man. I mean, as much as the chaos that goes on here in the city, or Chicago or LA, when it comes to that what they call black on black crime with these gangs and all that shit, there's a method to their madness. And if you know the streets, you know the codes, you can read the signs to know where not to be. You know, but as far as just living in a Midwest town or one of these upstate communities where it's supposed to be peaceful and everybody is kumbaya, and some motherfucker comes out of nowhere, whether you're in church, in school, or at your job, and just had a fucked up day and lights up everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what's so funny? We you know, and no disrespect. I mean, I tell people all the time, crime is crime, no matter what community it's in. It's just it's different if the media just keeps showing our crime. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's all that. What's up, Dave? How you doing, brother? 40 concept common sense. Rich Roscoe said, Rich, I need your perspective on my show. Please email me at text me, Roscoe, text me that information so I can forward that to Rich.
Is that the chicken and waffle show?
No, dude. That's the brother that did the show.
I was just
yeah. He was on A&E and he did a show on undercover law enforcement and stuff like that. It's an excellent documentary. You know, Roscoe said, why and how do black or black crime start? Can someone educate me on this? Inquiring minds want to know. Rich, you want to take a shot at that?
Black on black crime?
Yeah.
I mean, well, if you check the history of crime, period, I mean, everybody highlights black people committing crime against its own people as if we're the only ones that do it, right? Which is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, if you look at the Asians, the whole concept of Yakuza and mafia came from them. right? And that was drugs, gambling, prostitution, and policing through crime on its own people. Those people in those communities didn't go to the police. They relied on the Godfather to, or whoever was the top dog in that society, to protect them from criminals in the street. At the same time, they would extort them, take their money through gambling and substance abuse and prostitution, and they will have crime on their own people. You know, they come and they I mean, look at the transport of slaves, the slavery thing with women coming here through prostitution over in trucks and in planes and in these dumpsters uh, from overseas, where people come here and they get pimped out. You know, and this is people in their own culture doing this to them. The Russians do it to the Russians. The Asians do it to the Asians. You know, the whites do it to the whites too, to a degree, and the blacks do it to the blacks. But we're not exclusive when it comes to that. You know, so when they talk about black on black, or, you know, that's all they ever say is black on black crime. What about the other crimes on their own people? They all do it. We all do it. So don't single me out and have my people believe that we're the only ones that are crazy and act stupid towards each other when that's not true.
So Stefania says, we mostly live in close proximity to each other. She said crime overall is due to proximity. Roscoe said, my man, that's the answer right there. Thank you, Richard. He says, I'll email Bill. Please call me. I need your perspective on the show. Dave Lou said jails were created for white because blacks were slaves when jails were created first. Roscoe said, Bill, okay, I got a check for you too. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. So, you know, it's so funny. It's a great perspective and analogy of how things are, because a lot of times, you know, people fail to realize, like, you know, Rich, you broke it down eloquently and articulated it. People don't understand how this whole system is set up. And, you know, we as conscious men of color, brown people, women as well, and I apologize, I never want to leave my sisters out of it. We're fighting so hard to make you understand the past that we're playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, what is the people that don't like us say? Well, what do you say about that? What do you say about that? You know, listen, what do you say about it? Because you haven't owned up for the past. You got me explaining for something that I don't even understand, or not that I don't understand, that I see that can be caused by poverty. It could be caused by other things. Like, shit, if you put a bunch of rats in a hole, they're going to kill each other until they come to the, you know, whoever comes out the winner. You know what I'm trying to say? When you start starving. So let's keep it real. And until somebody, Cedric, you know, you can't get a check, bro. Not now. Maybe a little later. But we have to understand the empowerment of ourselves. And I just think society has done such a, not, you know, the systems, the powers that be, have done such a great job of disconnecting our youth from our village that we used to have. Because why is it that our village, we're still here and we're reaching back, but there's a disconnect because the youth don't want to hear what we have to say because they don't see a connection. You need that to talk to a 15-year-old. He gonna listen to a men our age and be like, yo, OG, you don't know what you're talking about because you're not about that smoke in this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? But you got to bring in a 22-year-old that maybe have that name in the street that he'll respect. And this is what bothers me so much about certain parts of the rap community right now. The ones that they emulate and follow, they're not in the schools talking to them. They rolling up the blunts, showing them how to roll a blunt and smoke it, and still wearing their pants hanging off their ass. And they talking about, they using street terminology. Yo, you listen, you're over 40 years old. and you're still talking about ops and this and that, and you're still talking about, yo, you don't want it and clapping and bang bang. Yo, grow the F up to me. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not telling anybody not how to make their money, but if you're telling me perpetuating the cycle and being negative is the only way you can get paid, then you're telling me you're a sad soul. I know positivity don't sell because what we doing, Rich, I do a brunch party. I'm shutting down the block. Positivity right here is the struggle, but I have no problems sharing this and doing this and doing this because listen, if one person agrees with me and they share it and they tell another soul, then we are doing certain things and I'm all for that. So I don't have a problem at all being positive because positivity. We were all taught by somebody. You teach, I learned talking to you. I'm sure you learned talking to me. Listen, it is all about us giving back to our people, some way, some form, somehow. I'm just sad that we're more on ratchet TV than anything. I think about it, and I say that they brought back the OGs of housewives, the basketball housewives of LA or Atlanta. Like, yo, you got chicks that have moved on in their lives, and they brought them back for the new version. Like the new version is clashing with the old, and they get the check, but nobody's paying you and me, Rich. You know what I'm saying? You and I. Nobody's paying us to talk about what we talking about. But people going to chime in on Housewives of Atlanta or House Basketball Wives and watch their shit and talk about, girl, you this, you that, you whatever. Are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my French. I don't get it for the life of me. But I'll never sell my soul for that either. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, we ain't never going to get that,
Yeah.
But what we need to do though more is not so much. Sure, our past is everything when it comes to looking towards to our future, but in saying that, older people have a tendency not to look to the future and look to our youth as being worthy enough to give us knowledge. Some people feel like we can't learn anything from young people when that's far from the truth. We always tell youngsters that, that we try to talk to, that, oh, your glass is full. That's why I can't pour nothing in it. Well, guess what? Sometimes our glass is full, trying to pour something out, but we ain't trying to take nothing in, and we still dealing with life as the way it used to be. And a lot of us are struggling with life the way it is, and we're trying to dial it back. You can't dial everything back. Some things have changed so much it'll never be back. I got kids that don't even know how to tell the time if it's not digital.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Yeah.
We never used calculators in school when we took our math tests. You pencil and a piece of paper, and you had to show the teacher how you came to that conclusion by writing it down. These motherfuckers got all kinds of electronics today, and we say, some of us say, oh, that's cheating. When the reality is, we're living in an era of electronics. Everything is like, yo, iPads, iPods, computers.
Some shit. Yeah, exactly.
Working fucking Foot Locker unless you know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
Because everything is on a digital thing with type in, and you go through this whole thing on your iPad. And a lot of people that come up in our era, we're not computer literate for the most part. A lot of us aren't. Just simply, we get stuck on our own cell phone. You got to call grandson, say, yo, show me how to do this.
Yo, listen, I called Malika today. I got a new phone. I was trying to forward something. I was like, yo, how do I do this shit? I was getting frustrated. I was so everything you're saying, I'm just putting extra checks on it.
That's saying the labeling as being slow and have learning disabilities. We calling him to help us fix this phone.
Yeah.
So I mean, so what are we saying here? You know, I don't think that some in a lot of cases we're up to speed technology wise. The way the world is made up today, even warfare is done differently. You know, I mean, like we were supposed to get to this war in Israel. You
Yeah,
know,
we'll pick it up next week. But go
but
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
point with that, we are so far behind in our thinking sometimes about how to solve problems and come to ways to deal with what's going on now. We're thinking more in the past than in the future. We're thinking that things are going to be like it was and trying to address it based on that. You know, we got to address things the way they are and how we project the future going to be. And a lot of times we have to look and tap into the thinking of our youth. How do they perceive the future? You know, because we fought a lot of battles that changed the way things are going to be dealt with in the future. And they're starting from that point. They're not starting from the point we were at, you know.
Yes.
And with all respect, that's what we planned it to be. You know, we don't want you to have to go through what we went through, but we're still trying to hold them accountable to what we went through on that level that we're accountable to it. And it's not like that. They're starting from a different starting point, so to speak. So
Yeah, yeah.
respect that and address that and try to incorporate our point of view too, but at the same time, respect their point of view and learn from that.
Yeah, definitely. Let me read some comments. And then we're gonna get out of here. Always insightful and enlightening to hear what you say. Uh Christina put something in there for me. I think it's about a book. 40 said everything is called off duty, Grand Theft Auto. Okay, yeah, comments are coming in. Everything is called Call of Duty, Grand Theft Audio, video type error. Exactly. Dave said, he said, I feel there is also no positive black males on the TV screen. It's designed that way to break us down. Absolutely. Listen, we had George Jefferson, we had Rock, Charles Dutton, we had James Evans. We always had a father in the home. And then it's so funny if you listen to John Amos talk about how he got kicked off the show with Norman Lear, is they got tired of him being a positive role model. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Dave also, like he says, we don't have positive males on the TV screens. It's designed that way to break us down. Any positive male has been deemed something less. All that is on TV, talk shows, ratchet attitudes, and lies. Our hip hop music that told that struggle has been diverted to sex, drugs, and killing. Absolutely, unity is a frightening thing to the clear folks built on our schools. Chris said, Dave, I thought your comments were interesting, so I looked it up. Thought you might like to see this. I think that's what she was talking about with Dave. Let me read some more comments real quick. Roscoe said, let's work, educate, and inform. My brother, each one teach one. Absolutely. Dave said, we need to bridge the gap in the positive. Absolutely. Chris said, you should read the book Stamped by Jason Reynolds and Ibrahim Kendai. It gives you the history of how slavery began and the progression of the black man's obsession. You have to know the history to understand how we got to this point. This book will really open your eyes to our situation. I'm going to get that. Roscoe says, Undercover Court on Tape, January 19, 2024 on A&E. That's what's up. Roscoe also says, he says, I go to sleep comfortable because of you, Bill, and your show. I will be forever grateful, and I will never forget what and how your platform makes me feel. Brother, thank you, and I will never forget what you have done for me. Roscoe, you know I love you, brother. We rock. Shout out to everybody that's chimed in. We appreciate you. I know I could speak for Rich and Kev and whomever, Chuck and the fellas and stuff like that. But like I said, I apologize for not being here on the Wednesdays, due to family issues and stuff like that. Or not issues, but just certain situations that I take care in other business endeavors that have pulled me away for us coming back from our vacation. But, hopefully we'll be back here next Wednesday. and things of that magnitude. You know, Rich is always with it. Rich has hit me up like, yo, what's good? We rocking with, you know, let's do what we do. And I always had to be like, okay, I can't, this and that. So I thank you, brother, first and foremost. I thank everybody. But Rich, I always want to thank you for being right here with me, man, 24/7, hard body. You know what I'm saying? Since we linked up, we've been unstoppable, man. So I just want to just give you your flowers right here in front of everybody. I appreciate you so much, man.
And I thank you for allowing me to come on your show and express my opinion, because don't nobody listen to me.
Well, it's our show right now. So, Rich, give us some positive affirmation. We're gonna get out of here. So, because we know we got to watch our team later on too and see what they doing.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, I'm going to try to give you positive affirmation here by asking people to clear the noise out your head. It's kind of like watching a boxing match without the commentator telling you who's winning or who's losing.
Yeah.
Use your own eyes and see it for what it is. And when it comes to this whole thing with Israel and the Palestinians, they said that Jerusalem has been there for 75 years fighting this fight. How long have the Palestinians been there? And who brought them there for that 75 years? I need you to think about that. You know, nobody kills nobody is my rule.
Yeah.
But when it comes to somebody coming into your house and taking stuff from you, the question is nobody's going to give you anything if you're not willing to take it. If somebody robs you, Bill, and you see the dude standing there and he got your gold chain on, you're going to walk over and say, yo, man, can I get my chain back? What are you going to say? Man, fuck out of here. What else you got? Give me that too.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. I'm taking it all.
What are you willing to do to protect your own?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So you got to open your eyes and look at things from the perspective of the other side. Don't just take one look and say, oh, you jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, we support this, we support that. Think about what you're supporting.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody, you heard it from the man himself. Roscoe said, Rich, call me. So Roscoe, text me your information. So or do you want me just to forward your information to him, Roscoe? Let me know. Stefania said, we love you, Rich. Oh, that's what's up. Great. Thank you, Dave.
Love you.
You know what I'm saying? So, yo, everybody, enjoy. Yo, it's a cold night. It's a cold night. Yo, keep warm. Knock it off. You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all for putting up with me.
Everybody, the brunch party is going good. The mayor came by to hang out with me, show some love. I put the pictures up on social media if you didn't see it, so it was a good thing. Got some things might be in the works. Can't put it out there yet. I don't want nobody to jinx it, because you know how we can be negative for our own, you know. And I tell people all the time, you get so much more if you F with me. If you try to hate on me, you get shut down. You know what I'm saying? Movies supposed to be out on Netflix. I saw The Mrs. Rich. Blood Mix is supposed to be on Netflix. I got a role in that, so I got my hands in it. Real Talk is back, so we're doing a lot of stuff. Everything is good, man. Just like I said, yo, just sending prayers out to everybody. Ern, what's up, brother? Happy belated. Yes, it's cold everywhere, brother. Oh, that's what's up. You know, Stefania said Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians. You want to comment on that real quick, Rich, before we go?
Hey, well, listen, man. I mean, the Israeli state has been here for 75 years. Prior to that, where were they? You know, you take a group of people that genocide almost was committed against them, but then you take them and put them in some house and tell them that you got to make space for them. Israel won't even allow it to be a free election with both sides where they can have a free election and a democratic state, because they're fearful, because the numbers of Palestinians are more than the Israelis, that they'll lose and they won't have any say so in government, you know. But you can't take somebody's land and you say it's yours because the Bible says so, or the Torah says so, and then now you're expecting them to live the same way you lived when you were in Germany, you know. So I mean, really, come on. I mean, you got to find a way to let people live and let live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And all of the European allies, and with after World War II, you know, they all got together and said, "Hey, all you Jews, go here and you live in these people's land." I mean, really, where you do that at? I mean, I can't come to Bill's house and say, "Yo, I'm gonna let Fred stay in your house," because he said he was living here because the Bible said he's supposed to be here, and Bill,
Yeah.
you got to live in the bathroom.
Yeah. You and Fred both. You Fred, the Bible, everybody getting out, because I'm about to give y'all some act right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you expect people to swallow that pill, and you're taking more and more land from them, and then the only way they can make money is to come in the territory that you took from them, and you got to be treated in a manner that's really disrespectful, and you coming and going back to your home of living in poverty. You know, you're living in poverty, and these people came and took prime real estate in your house.
Yeah.
And the world is siding with them based on the media coverage. You know, how is that right? You know, and again, I don't believe in that nobody should be killing nobody. But in the same token, what are you supposed to do if you're 5'1" and you get thrown in a cell with somebody that's 6'8", 400 pounds, muscles, telling you you can't sleep on this bed, you got to sleep on the floor, you got to do whatever I tell you to do? How does that guy survive?
Yeah.
You know, how does he survive? He survives by telling you that you won't be able to sleep. So you either kill me now or let me live, or I'm going to terrorize you while you sleeping. So every time Israel falls asleep with what they consider throwing them a bone, they don't forget that you got your foot in my neck. You know, and it's kind of similar to here in the United States, how white people feel about us. They didn't forget that they had us enslaved for 400 years. And they think that if we ever get a leg up, that we're going to do to them what they did to us. Because that's how they think,
Yeah.
you know? So they're like, there's no way in the world they can forget what we did to them. They ain't gonna never forget about the lynchings. They ain't gonna never forget about the slavery. They're not gonna never forget the fact that I sold their mother and their father and their sister and brother and had sex with their mother and had their father bring her to me and impregnated her and had other little bastard kids, and then they lived with y'all and I treated them a little better than you. How black people gonna forget that?
Yeah.
They're gonna say, "Oh, fuck out of here. Ain't no way in the world y'all can forget that." Because they wouldn't, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So I'm not gonna let you get big enough to retaliate. And that's the mindset that you will have if you're going to be an oppressor. If you're going to oppress people, you got to be on, your head got to be on a swivel 24/7. You got to keep your foot on them to keep them at bay where they'll never be able to do something to you. And for me, and I could be wrong, but this is the way I see it, that Israelis are treating it just like that. You know, they don't want to get kicked out of that land they took.
What's that sound like, right?
Yeah, yeah. They not. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't see none of those Israeli people of color, because black folks are the true Israelis. You know what I'm saying? Israelites.
Yeah.
You know, and from what I understand, and I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, that those people are actually converts. converted to Israel, to that religion. They make no mention of all of the black people that were in Germany that were Jews, that were slaughtered and murdered. They didn't have to put the Star of David on them.
Yeah.
They just killed them off the rip.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So, hey, what could I tell you? You know?
Let me read some comments, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna pick this up next week, because I love the way you broke it down, brother. Stefani says, now as a result, when some Muslim people the victims of this war retaliate, I don't want to hear none. He don't want to hear anything. She's like, exactly, Rich. She says, slowly people are waking up and realizing what Israel is doing. Dave is giving up the clap hands for you. Ern said, wow, that sounds like real talk to me. Absolutely. Stefani said, it's horrible what they're doing. Dana, what's up, niece? Shout out to everybody that just chimed in late. You got to come back and look at it on YouTube. Please subscribe to it if you're not. Look at it and let us know what you think. Give us some feedback back. Go ahead, Rich. What you gonna say before we get?
Did you remember? You started to mention that video that I sent you of the woman that was talking about how they're asking NFL players to take a knee for the lives lost over in
Israel. Yeah.
Israel, right? So they want you to take a knee for the Jews, right? But those are the same people that told you that, right, even to this day, Colin Kaepernick can't get a job for taking a knee for black folks.
7 years, exactly.
But it's okay now to take a knee if you're going to take a knee for Jewish people, because they control the media, they own shit. You know, when you own shit, then you can control the narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, if we get pushed off and you don't see us anymore, you know why. But that's all good. Listen, I'd rather go out fighting than go out getting punched in the mouth and not throwing my hands up. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna never know us not to be fighters.
But that's what happens, you know. What's that saying? Those that have the money make the rules or some shit.
Absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
Those that have the gold make the rules.
Yeah.
You got the gold, you make the rules.
Yeah, like Ern said, it always comes back to dollar. Dave said, "Yo, we'll find out." 40 said, "It's the America, the way he's putting America way of doing things." Absolutely. Yo, everybody, that's Richard Williams. I am Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Thanks, Kevin Branzetti, for being here. Yo, the other fellas, I'm sure they'll be popping in. We'll try to come back to you more on our consistent Wednesdays. I extend my apologies for us not being here on Wednesdays. It is my fault, not the fellas. They have been available. I just been going through some stuff and have been taking care of some personal stuff. And it's all good. I mean, God is good. So don't get me wrong. It's just, you know, when you just do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. So I apologize for not being here, but trying to be here more consistently now that we're back, because this was a good Wednesday. And I asked the guys, I said, yo, who with me tonight? Rich was like, me. You know what I'm saying? He's the first one to reply. So we back, Rich. We back, baby. We out of here. Everybody share it, subscribe to it, like it. Go ahead, brother.
All you guys were watching and chiming in and listen to this madness we spit out. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Everybody, let's go next. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, my brother.
All right, peace.